Good evening and welcome to the May 11th, 2026 City Council Roundtable. Thank you for joining us. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Murphy,
Here.
Councilmember Watton,
Here.
Councilmember Holloway,
Here.
Councilmember Washington,
Here.
Councilmember Cotton,
Present.
Councilmember Johnson.
He is here.
Roll is complete. We have a quorum.
I'm informed by Councilmember Johnson that he will be late to this meeting. However, do any of you wish to move to excuse him or just will note when he comes?
So moved. Second.
Motion to excuse absence by Councilmember Watton, second by Councilmember Washington. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Councilmember Johnson is excused, although we will note if and when he arrives, City Clerk. All right. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Washington, seconded by Councilmember Watton to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion? Is there a motion to add an executive session under RCW 42.30.1101H to evaluate the qualifications of a candidate for appointment to elective office?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Washington, seconded by Councilmember Watton. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries and the agenda is amended. Hold on. Is there a motion to remove the item on the agenda for executive session pursuant to RCW 40.30.1101I to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Watton, seconded by Councilmember Murphy. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of striking this from the agenda say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Is there any further discussion of the agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amended agenda say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion carries unanimously and the amended agenda is passed. We will now go into executive session under RCW 42.30.1101H to evaluate the qualifications of a candidate for appointment to elective office. I'll note that final action appointing a candidate to elective office shall be in a meeting open to the public, and it will not be during the roundtable meeting because it was not so noticed in advance. With that, we'll be in executive session until 5:45.
6:45.
Excuse me, 6:45. Right, we're back from executive session in the roundtable at 6:58 p.m. Is there there being no further items on the agenda for the roundtable meeting? Is there a motion to adjourn the roundtable meeting?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Washington, second by Councilmember Johnson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed say nay. The motion passes and the roundtable meeting is adjourned. Changing part. Jimmy, we're ready? Good evening and welcome to the April 13th, 2026 City Council regular meeting. Thank you for joining us. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Murphy,
Here.
Councilmember Watton,
Here.
Councilmember Holloway,
Here.
Councilmember Washington,
Here.
Councilmember Cotton,
Still present.
Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
The roll is complete. We have a quorum.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Watton, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Johnson, seconded by Councilmember Holloway. Is there any discussion? Is there a motion to add to the agenda prior to item 23, an executive session under RCW 42.30.110(1)H to evaluate the qualifications of a candidate for appointment to elective office?
So moved, Your Honor. Second.
Moved by Councilmember Washington, seconded by Councilmember Holloway. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to amend say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion carries. Is there any further discussion of the agenda? Councilmember Johnson.
Move to allow public comment for the item number 18, discussion of potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area during the public comment session, which is typically for items not on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Johnson, second by Councilmember Watton. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion to amend say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion carries. Is there any further discussion? Councilmember Cotton.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to move item number 18 under Finance and Administration, discussion of potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area up to after public comment, if we can.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Cotton, second by Councilmember Johnson. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion to amend passes. Is there any further discussion of the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amended agenda say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. The amended agenda passes. The next item on the agenda is the appointment tonight of firefighter Bernie. And Chief, would you like to approach the podium and speak?
Firefighter Burnett, would you like to join me up here? So thank you for giving me the time tonight. First of all, I want to point out that if you may have noticed, Firefighter Burnett has been with us since January of this year. And you might ask Chief Bailey, it is May. Why are we bringing you in front of him now? But just bear with me. It'll make sense here in just a minute when I get through a little bio of Sam here. So Sam came to us in Snoqualmie from Juneau, Alaska. He spent the last 10 years working for Alaska's Capital City Fire Department. Outside of work, he enjoys surfing, hunting, trail running, and snowboarding in Alaska's backcountry. And Sam is originally from Silverdale, Washington. And he and his wife, Amy, just welcomed a beautiful girl, Elena, June, to their family. She's back there. So Elena's 2 months old. You might start to get the picture here. That's why we're here in May. They are currently living on the Hood Canal and will be home shopping in the Snoqualmie area soon. Sam is a dedicated fire EMT and is looking forward to spending his career here in Snoqualmie. Just a little bit more about Sam. We're really lucky to have him. Like I said, 10 years of career experience up in Alaska. Decided to come back to Washington with a new baby on the way to be closer to family. And as I said, it would be a little bit clearer why we didn't bring you in front of him in January, because I was, for one, not going to bring a pregnant 8-month-old wife who was in the middle of moving her family from Alaska to Washington in January, nor a brand new baby. So we just thought it'd be better to wait until they got settled a little bit. And so that's why we're here. And we wanted to make sure that his family was able to join him tonight to welcome him to the department and to the city. So that's why we are here before you tonight. But again, we're really happy to have Sam with us. He brings a lot of experience. With 10 years, he fits right into the department. He's been doing a great job working on B shift, and we're really excited to have him here. So if we could have the mayor come up, we'd like to present him with his helmet. So the mayor's going to present him with his helmet, and then his wife's going to come up, and we're going to have him pin on his badge. We're going to have him present the helmet there as we typically do, take a few pictures.
Can you look this way too? Sorry.
Double pictures.
1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Come on up, Amy.
Now's your chance, Amy.
Yep. Can I get one too? Sorry.
Picture just them.
Sure.
They were posing as you.
All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Yes, please.
I'll stay on this. Wait. That way a little bit.
They wait for you to walk away.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you.
And if you
Now
don't,
we gotta turn around.
yeah, flip around. So sorry. Next time I'll come around the other way. Can you scooch in, Mayor, a little bit? Thank you so much. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Got it.
All right, council, next item on the agenda is appointment of chief of police. Will not be appointing a chief tonight, but I will let you know that I have conditionally offered Scott Miller the position, and he is now undergoing a background check, which will take some number of weeks. As you can imagine, it's a very thorough background check for chief of police. So I expect as soon as as he passes that background check, that I will be appointing him as our chief of police and coming to you for ratification of that appointment. All right, we move on to presentations. Our first presentation is from Waste Management.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. My name is Kevin Kelly. I'm with Waste Management, joined tonight by my colleague Grace Fletcher. We appreciate the opportunity to appear before you just as a good chance to check in with how things are going. We began a new contract with the city that took effect on June 1st. And so thought this would be a good time to share with you some updates and give you the latest and greatest with what's going on with your garbage service. We did have some slides. I don't know if those, do we have those? Can be put up.
I didn't get.
If not, I will captivate you with my words and,
We're gonna get them for
Okay.
you. Thank you so much. They should be in the council packet. I'm not logged in.
And Jimmy, we need Mr. Fry promoted. We have it.
Perfect. Okay, just like we drew it up, and maybe Pat, I'll just kind of wave my arm when it's time for the next one. And so go ahead. Okay, so as I mentioned, new contract that took effect in June. WM had been the hauler previously. City went out for a competitive procurement process, and Waste Management was the top proponent during that process. So we continued on as your service provider, providing you with a new contract and levels of service that were enhancements from the previous contract that we were under. This is a 7-year agreement. So some of the things that did take effect with that were expanded carton container sizes for both residents and businesses. So we're now offering a 45-gallon cart size, a 1.5-yard container size for apartment complexes, and expanded recycling offerings for commercial businesses. We upgraded all of our trucks and equipped them with new technology that we refer to as our smart truck technology. So what that does is it includes cameras, GPS, telemetry systems on all of our trucks that make it better for both our operators and our customers, because those cameras can take a photograph of any collection exemption. So if a customer's card is not out, or they have extra units of service that need to be collected, we take a photograph of that instance, and we are able to share that with the customer, so they know exactly what we see when we go out and do it. It enhances our safety program so that our drivers get feedback on how they're driving, and lets us know how the trucks are performing. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that the city of Snoqualmie is served by 9 drivers who have 211 years of collective experience among them. So about 23 years on average, our drivers have been doing this job. And I think that's reflected in the great work that they do day in and day out for the residents and businesses of Snoqualmie. We run all of our operations out of our operating facility in Woodinville, and our drivers do a terrific job, I think, for the community. So next slide, please. A few other things. I mentioned some of this, but back in the fall, we did a minor reroute that impacted several hundred customers in the city of Snoqualmie. And we did that to basically just make sure that, as a result of the growing community, the changes that we see, that we can make things as efficient and effective as possible. So we sent out a communication to residents who were impacted. And I think because of the nature of it and the know-how of our drivers, that went off without a hitch. And I think our operational performance is reflecting a good change. So next slide, please. One resource we want to make sure you all are aware of, and that anyone watching is aware of. It's the best resource for communication with WM. It's an app that can be downloaded through any app store. It's called the My WM app. It gives customers a chance to see exactly what's going on with their service. So, it used to be that if you wanted to know what day your garbage day was on, you kind of go out, your street, you look to your left, look to your right, and if your neighbors had your carts out, that's how you knew it was garbage day. Now we've become a little bit more sophisticated. We have an app where it can tell you, and if you want, it can set an alert for you so that you know that your garbage day is on Tuesday, for instance. You get a little alert for it, you bring your cart to the curb, and you don't have to rely on your neighbor's memory to know. So we provide all that for you. You can pay your bill through that app. You can communicate with any customer service needs. Just a great resource for customers to download and utilize to make sure that they know what's going on with their garbage service. Let's see, next slide, please. I'm going to turn it over to Grace now, who's going to share with you a little bit more about what we're doing in the community and some of our efforts in sustainability.
Thank you, Kevin. Good evening, everybody. My name is Grace Fletcher, and I am the Education and Outreach Coordinator for Snoqualmie. Thank you for having me here to share how we were active in the Snoqualmie community this past year. So with our commitments of people first and success with integrity, this is really the lens we use to guide each and every service interaction we have with our customers. And our core values of safety, customers, and the environment, again, really guide our decision-making and our community partnerships. So in 2025, we supported key community events such as Snoqualmie Days and Big Truck Day, and we're really looking forward to getting back out there in 2026. Some events we'll be at include Big Truck Day again, as well as the Snoqualmie Firefighters Pancake Breakfast. I was going to tell them that I would see them in August, but they all left, so I will see them in August. But last year I was able to attend, and it was a fantastic event, just meeting Fire Chief Mike Bailey and all of the different firefighters, having lots of conversations with residents who were there, helping them sort their materials to make sure that it was a zero waste event. So I'm already looking forward to August. It'll be a fun one again. So all of this together means safer collections for customers, better customer experience, environmental stewardship, and community event support. And once again, we're excited to get back out there in 2026. Patrick, next slide, please. Awesome. So last summer, our 11 Recycle Corps interns visited every single commercial and multifamily property in Snoqualmie. This is a program that we have every summer where 10 to 12 college students or recent graduates join our education and outreach team to provide education to the greater Western Washington area. So this program is really about community support, professional development, and delivering results in terms of waste reduction. And it's one tool we use to ensure that cities like Snoqualmie are reaching their sustainability goals one face-to-face conversation at a time. I was also a Recycle Corps intern about 4 years ago now, which is crazy, but I can really speak to the impact the program has on interns' own professional development and the community support and conversations they can have with customers in different communities. So as they were talking with business owners and property managers, they focused on an education tool we use called the 3 C's, those being convenience, clarity, and capacity. So with convenience, they're advising property managers and business owners to co-locate their containers or basically making sure that garbage and recycling are next to each other to make it more convenient for residents to sort. If garbage is on one end of a parking lot and recycling is on the other, people are likely just going to go to whichever one is most convenient. So by co-locating them, it's making sorting and appropriate recycling more convenient for staff, residents, whoever it may be. Clarity is the second C we use, and this is just about making sure that cart colors are correct and that instructional decals are on each container that have visuals as well as text to show anyone who's going to sort exactly what goes where. This is one of those simple things that you might not think of immediately, but it's simple because it works. The last C is capacity, and this is where interns would work with property managers and business owners to right size their containers for that individual's needs. If the garbage is full and it's overflowing, someone who goes to throw something away might just put that in the recycling if the garbage is full. So by making sure that containers are the right size for each property and each business, this encourages proper sorting and again, makes it easier for people to do the more sustainable thing. So once again, we're excited to get back out there this summer. Our 12 Recycle Corps interns will be joining us in June, and we'll be out in the Snoqualmie community in August. So if you see them walking around, please say hi. They'll be in very neon yellow vests, so you can spot them from a mile away. And yeah, we're excited to have them join us for this summer. Great. And our Cascade Recycling Center up in Woodinville, or the CRC, is an essential part of our recycling system. This facility was rebuilt in 2023 to include the most advanced recycling technology. One of these machines being our optical sorters. And these are extremely efficient. They can sort 16 recyclables every single second by administering targeted gusts of air that blow cardboard in one place, plastic in another, aluminum in another, and so on and so forth. In our old facility, we only had one of these machines, and we now have 15. So we can get through a lot more material, process it more efficiently, and make sure that those recyclables are being separated out so they can make it to their next life. This facility processes recyclables from about 250,000 households across Western Washington. We process about 520 tons of residential material and 50 tons of commercial material every single day. And we have the capacity to process even more than that. And we also host community tours every single quarter at this facility, but we would also love to host a private tour for Snoqualmie City Council members or city staff, anyone who's interested. I'm the one who actually gives these tours, so I would love to have you all show you how our facility works, how we process Snoqualmie recyclables, and how effective we can really be. So feel free to reach out to me, Kevin, Patrick has our contact information, and we'd love to have you out in Woodinville. And I'll pass it back over to Kevin.
Thank you. And just a quick note, looking ahead, there's been some legislation that has recently been passed that is going to have some profound impact on the recycling landscape, one of which has to deal with organics. It's a new organics management law that is really pushing businesses, multifamily complexes, and other commercial entities to take on an organic subscription service as a way to divert that material from landfills. That takes effect in earnest, actually at the beginning of this year, where any business that is generating 96 gallons, so think one large yard waste cart of food waste or organic material per week, is required to sign up for service. So we're working with Department of Ecology and local jurisdictions to make sure that that program is rolled out and that we can effectively divert that material from the landfill, put it to a better and higher use. The other piece of legislation that was recently passed is related to extended producer responsibility, which is going to set up a different type of recycling infrastructure, starting by creating what's called a producer responsibility organization. And it's going to put more of the onus on manufacturers for how they pay for and ultimately create a recycling system that works and is effective. That will be taking effect in 2029. So some kind of big things on the horizon here that obviously we're keeping a close eye on, and we'll be working with staff as well to make sure that the city is engaged with that legislation. Otherwise, that brings us to the end. I will reiterate the tours are great. If you have never been to one of these facilities, there's nothing quite like it. The sights, the sounds, the smells, and you see, exactly what goes into turning a, 10 tons of recyclable material into clean bales that can be sent to market for remanufacture. It's really quite something. So again, thank you very much for the time and the opportunity to share with you all. We're happy to answer any questions if time allows, but otherwise we just appreciate the chance to engage with you, and we really appreciate the renewed partnership.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Holloway.
What I didn't hear, and so maybe the data will tell me it's not an issue anymore, but I didn't hear how the new trucks or the services help with animal resistant cans. We've had issues, and we've taken it to Waste Management in the past about bears in the neighborhoods, certain neighborhoods going after cans. Okay, and we were advised, Waste Management was looking at how the trucks, because right now for a bear resistant can, the driver has to get out, unlock, do all that. So for the convenience of the driver, it'd be nice if the truck would support the use of that somehow with some of those automatic mechanisms. So I'd love to hear back what was the thinking on that. This may have dropped from consciousness after the pandemic, but I don't, unless either the public safety or yourselves can show me, is it an issue? Have the number of animal resistant cans gone down? What are our calls involved for animal engagements? I just don't want it to drop off the radar. If it is just lying there to come up, be an issue later on.
Yeah, no, point well taken. And if it's okay with you, maybe I can, touch, I just.
One more question.
Yeah, I'll follow up with you and
Thank
after
you,
a
sir.
little bit of research. Yep.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time tonight and for your
My pleasure.
presentation.
Well, thank you. Thank you all.
For those
Okay, thank you, Grace.
council and for those watching, the city has today updated its waste management page on the website. There's now a lot more information about our contract with waste management and a number of Q&A questions. There's also an easy click through to waste management's page that is dedicated to service of Snoqualmie. So residents can access that and get more information and link through if they would like. All right, our next presentation tonight is from the Chamber of Commerce. Executive Director Coughlin, I think we've got your slides coming up now. If you give us just a moment. Okay.
Well, good evening, everyone. Excited to be here. This has been a long awaited to kind of tell you all the things that we've been doing. So this is tonight about the Rural Tourism Support Program. This was a program that Washington Tourism has been doing for several years now. We were very fortunate to be picked out of this. We were the third community to be able to do this program in the whole state of Washington. And why it's so important, it's a $300,000 investment that they made into our community with this grant. And then on top of that, the Port of Seattle awarded us with $50,000 additional money to be able to do this, to follow it through. So it took us over a year to get to this place. And so tonight, I just want to kind of share with you more about it. And in short, we call it the RTS program. So if you hear me say that, that is part of this program. So it was, yes, next page. Okay. So the reason why this is important is because of our tourism ecosystem. So some of you have heard me say before, we have over 13.8 million visitors that come to Snoqualmie Valley every single year. So it was very important for us to kind of figure out what this tourism ecosystem looked like. And so so it's a full network of people, and you'll see the tourism industry, and you'll see all the different land managements and everything that was part. So it is kind of difficult. Most places don't have this many people or different things that are part of a tourism ecosystem. We do. As you can see, we have the U.S. Forest Service, we have the U.S. Bureau of Land Movement, National Park Service, State Parks and Recreation. You can read all of those. Again, most people do not have this. So it is a pretty big deal that we were able to do this. So this is not driven by one organization. So I just want to make sure that this is totally clear. So we have sorry, I get excited about this because it has been 2 years in the making, but a year that we did the RTS program. And so I want to make sure that you guys understand the whole picture of what we were able to do this. So the reason why this matters, the tourism impacts for all these groups, whether positively or negatively, is a crowded trailhead affects search and rescue, parking, traffic, and land management. And so I'm going to tell you a quick story, so you'll remember this. We had a influencer come and go up Mailbox Peak. She then wrote that this Mailbox Peak was a family-friendly hike. And if anybody has been up that, they know that is not a family-friendly hike. So what happened was in one weekend after that lady came out and did this, there were 7 rescues, 5 were by helicopter. So if you can imagine, so tourism plays a big role in all kinds of different avenues. And that's just an example of what, and the cost of that, millions and millions of dollars, and it's all done by volunteers. We do not have to pay for all of that because it's by volunteers. And so that is just kind of a part of what our tourism ecosystem looks like. So a successful festival benefits restaurants, retailers, hotels, artists, and local tax revenue. Better transit option help reduce congestion for residents while improving visitor access. Stewardship education helps protect natural resources while improving the visitor experiences. The RTS process recognized that tourism can no longer operate in silos. The Valley is needed a coordinated approach where organizations communicate, share information, solve problems together, and build experiences that support both economic resiliency and community livability. This is why we had 100 stakeholders participate throughout this process representing organizations from across the Valley, including Mountains of Sound Greenway, Snoqualmie Indian Tribe, Washington State Parks, DNR, King County, Snoqualmie Pass, the cities of Duval, Carnation, North Bend, and Snoqualmie, Hope Link, Search and Rescue, museums, recreation organizations, local businesses, and many others. This was truly a Valley-wide collaborative effect. So I just want everybody to know that that was, and again, it took us a year to get to that level. So it was a pretty big deal. Next one. So we were able to come up with this amazing statement. And this is our intent, our statement of intent. So we unite a diversity of people, community, and visitors behind the fulfillment of common vision of the future. Protect and restore our land, our water, and wildlife for future generations, educate, engage, and inspire our community and visitors to join us in these practices. I will let you read the rest of it, but majority of this is that we are creating a sustainable tourism. We are not going after that regular tourist. We are going with someone who actually cares for our community and respects it, because that was one of our biggest issues, if you guys know or not, during COVID, is why the tribe actually created the ancestral land movement, was because we had just millions of people up on all of our trailheads, and it was disastrous. It caused a lot of stuff that still is trying to be worked on. They trampled a lot of the land that was not on the trails. They all went off the trails. So anyway, I just want to make sure that you understand that what we are trying to do here is, this is our statement of intent to be able to align with that as well. Okay. So here is what we did. So we had 3 different phases. So we did the foundation. We did that in 2025. And we did we had a diverse steering committee that came in, and we did all of the research, program development, and outreach. And then the second one was to engage the community. We did visioning, which was amazing. We did scenario planning workshops. We had 3 different workshops. Again, diverse stakeholders, and that was 2.5 months. And then we have the move into action. And that is, so we're a little far. We didn't get to do this as fast as we wanted to. So we still have our destination leadership team, but we had to put it on hold just a tad bit because of the World Cup. And the reason being is we knew that with this World Cup coming, we are the playground of Seattle and Bellevue. And we knew without a doubt what's going to happen when the World Cup's. So we've actually been working with several of the cities and different associations to really treat this again as making sure that we have it a sustainable way to be able to embrace these visitors, but lead them and teach them what is so important about the community. Next. So we created, with all of those 3 phases, a 15-year community vision of success. Now, that is pretty big undertaking. So we did stewardship first, is our first and foremost thing. And by the way, I put this, you have the whole entire packet in your packets tonight. And I sent it last year as well, but I would love for you guys to look over the entire packet. And it kind of shows you all of the different work that was put into this, because it was a lot. So again, protecting stewardship, we have resident and visitor education. The next page. Manage outdoor recreation, turnkey visitor transportation network, economic resiliency, and sense of place, our rich tapestry of culture, and a valley-wide destination leadership. So this is all very, very important because this focuses heavily on responsible recreation, cultural heritage, local food systems, outdoor recreation, arts, history, and community identity. So next page. So I'm going to ask Christy Lake to come up really quick from the museum, and I want her to show you what we actually created. We have 2 projects that we had come out of this program. So Christy, you want to come up and tell them about the, oh, you're here.
Hi, I'm Christy Lake, the Executive Director of the Snoqualmie Valley Museum. And one of the projects that came out of this was the request to create a Snoqualmie Valley Heritage Trail along the Snoqualmie Valley Trail. The Snoqualmie Valley Trail was originally the Milwaukee Railroad line, the Everett Branch line that was built in 1911, and it goes through each of our community towns. We had just come out of publishing Images of America, Snoqualmie Valley, with a partnership between the 4 historical societies and the Snoqualmie tribe. So we were able to turn that committee around into the Snoqualmie Valley Heritage Trail with a grant from the Port of Seattle that the Chamber secured. We were able to create a website that you can find at snoqualmievalleymuseum.org/heritage trail that has over 100 historic points with historic photographs and descriptions of items along the trail. We were able to create this draft of trailhead sign, which will be eventually printed in multiple locations along the trail. Hire a local artist, J. Craig Thorpe, who's actually nationally renowned for his industrial artwork, to paint this painting of the valley for the map, and then create a draft of a printable map as well. We are working in partnership on the committee with the 4 historical societies, the Northwest Railway Museum, the Snoqualmie Tribe, King County Parks, and King County Historic Preservation, and the Mountain Sound Greenway, along with some other partners. And we're having monthly meetings on it. We just got a $30,000 grant from the Port of Seattle to continue this work. So we'll be working with a Snoqualmie tribe member to create an interpretive plan over the next year for the whole trail system. It's 25 miles. And also print and install 6 of these heritage trail signs. As part of this work, we're telling 4 interpretive themes. So Snoqualmie tribal history, natural history along the trail, how the railroad changed everything because it's on the old historic tracks, and then some sort of theme that will revolve around how each of our towns developed uniquely. This trail does route each visitor off the Snoqualmie Valley Trail into each of the historic downtowns. Part of the process was we wanted to route some of the visitors off of the heavily used trails to a trail that was already physically able to handle a lot larger group than it's getting. And the concept of tourists stay longer if they can have activities, and then they stay and spend money in the community. So you have 3 opportunities to spend money in your community. They eat, they do an activity, they eat, they do an activity, they eat, and then they need to sleep. So if we can make the Heritage Trail a 2-day walk, that's actually 7 opportunities to spend money in the community. And I'll turn it back over to you, Kelly.
Thank you, Christy. So anyway, it's real important. That money from the Port of Seattle came from that RTS program. So the additional 30,000. So now we're seeing this even go further into the community. Next one. Okay. And so another program that came out of this was our Wander Wisely. Again, we have so many people that come up here and they do some of the craziest things. as you probably have known. I don't know if you guys have been watching recently, but the elk have been a really big issue. People stopping their car and getting out and going and trying to touch the elk. That is not a good thing. So what we're doing is we're getting this out. We've have it on the buses that are coming up during World Cup. And so it's the cold water can kill. You guys have known that we've had a lot of people that have passed from the water. Wildlife safety, fire season safety, respect the ancestral lands, leave it better. And in case of emergency, I hope everybody knows that you can also text 911. If your phone does not work up in some of these places, you try and text and it does work. So that is really important to know. And next slide. Here is the 15-year tourism plan, and thank God for AI now. So this is, they've kind of put this together to be able to see where the phases are, and that should be in your packets too, to be able to see it. We're extremely excited about it. Again, this is a vision up from now until 2040. Okay, next one. And there you go, questions. And I just want to say that before we go to questions, the city of Snoqualmie has been a great partner in this whole entire process. They've supported us. They've also long-term economic resilience, stewardship, community livability, and thoughtful tourism management across the region. And so it is a really important thing that we do this all together, not just Snoqualmie and not just North Bend. It is no more silos. We have to do this together. It will help all of us in the future. So any questions?
Councilmember Cotton.
Not a question as much as I just wanted to say thank you, Kelly, for the incredible amount of work that has been going into this, and it's so greatly appreciated and
Thank you.
and noticed.
Yeah, it's been a lot of work. And I also forgot to tell you, we just did a cycling guide. And if you get a chance to go look at this cycling guide, it is our principles of responsible tourism. We have everything in there. Even we put the e-bikes safety in there as well. So just to make sure you guys kind of look at that. And we'll be doing that from here on out. And you will not see big festivals from us. We're doing the one thing that I will say, I get asked every time is that, why are you not doing the Sunflower Festival in Carnation? I will not, because that would end up just like Skagit County with all the Tulip Festival. And we do not want that. We do not want to see thousands of cars going through the valley and us not being able to recreate ourselves. So again, it's sustainable, it is responsible, and it's very important to make sure that our tourism is that direction.
Councilmember Murphy.
So Kelly, I want to really thank you for giving this presentation. I know we've had an opportunity to talk about some of this. I think the Wander Wisely tips and program is so important given our proximity to Seattle, our proximity to all these natural wonders in our backyard that do come with, safety concerns, cultural sensitivity that we need to all be thinking about in terms of making sure we're promoting our valley in the right way, as you just described. Mm-hmm. So I just, again, echo Councilmember Cotton and thanking you for coming here and presenting this to us and keeping this top of mind as we think about tourism and economic development from the city's perspective and how our efforts can dovetail with yours. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Coughlin.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is proclamations. The first proclamation is National Police Week. Yes. If you can make that, yeah, thank you. All right, whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy proclaimed May 15th National Police Officers Memorial Day, and the calendar week in which it falls as National Police Week to honor the service and sacrifice of officers killed in the line of duty. And whereas there are approximately 800,000 sworn law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including dedicated members of the City of Snoqualmie Police Department. And whereas since 1786, more than 25,000 law enforcement officers have been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and whereas we recognize that every day police officers risk their lives in service and protection of others. Whereas in honor of fallen officers and their families, U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. And now therefore, I, James Mayhew, Mayor of the City of Snoqualmie, do hereby proclaim May 10th to May 16th, 2026 as National Police Week in the City of Snoqualmie and publicly acknowledge the brave service of law enforcement officers in the City of Snoqualmie and in communities across the nation. We're also proclaiming National Emergency Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service and the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury and fills healthcare gaps by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventive medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other medical care providers who engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their skills. And whereas we recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services by designating Emergency Medical Services Week, now therefore I, James Mayhew, Mayor of the City of Snoqualmie, do hereby proclaim May 17th to May 23rd, 2026 as National Emergency Services Week in the City of Snoqualmie and encourage all residents to join in honoring the EMS profession and the essential services it provides. And we're proclaiming Affordable Housing Week, whereas all people deserve access to safe, healthy, and affordable housing within the communities that provide opportunity, stability, and high quality of life. And whereas the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development defines affordable housing as housing for which occupants pay no more than 30% of their gross income on housing costs, including utilities. And whereas projections from the Washington State Department of Commerce indicate that by 2044, King County will need nearly 200,000 additional housing units affordable to households earning at or below 80% of the area median income. And whereas research demonstrates a strong correlation between rising housing costs and homelessness, with increases in median rent contributing to significant increases in homelessness across metropolitan, suburban, and rural communities. And whereas expanding access to affordable housing strengthens communities by supporting residents, fostering economic vitality, and enhancing neighborhood stability. And whereas communities throughout King County join together each year to recognize Affordable Housing Week, raising awareness and advancing solutions to ensure all residents have access to safe and affordable homes. Now, therefore, I, James Mayhew, Mayor of the City of Snoqualmie, do hereby proclaim May 18th to May 22nd as Affordable Housing Week in the City of Snoqualmie and encourage all residents to join in celebrating this special observance. Next item on the agenda is public comment. At this time, we will provide time for public comment on items not on the agenda and on the topic of potential land use in unincorporated King County. Comments on agenda items will be taken during discussion of each one of those agenda items as we reach them. Public comments are taken in person or in writing that may be submitted in person, mail, or email to cityclerk@snoqualmiewa.gov. First, a few ground rules. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes each. Come forward to the podium and state your name and city of residence for the record. Direct your comments to the council as a whole and not to individual members. Council members, staff, and I will listen to your comments and consider your input, but will not respond during this meeting. We have 2 individuals who are signed up for public comment, after which we will take comment from anyone else who did not sign up. The first person who signed up is, hopefully I'm getting the pronunciation right, Nivi Tanwar.
That was right. Good evening, council members. My name is Nivi, and you've seen me on the stage more often than not now. I'm here to question the city's position on the proposed BEST project. While the project site itself may be outside the limits, it cannot proceed without infrastructure crossing city-controlled property and without approvals that fall squarely within this council's authority. That brings this issue directly within the scope of 2010 pre-annexation development agreement between city and the Puget Sound Energy, adopted under resolution number 960. That agreement, along with the recorded covenant and grant of easement attached to it, appears to provide the city with meaningful leverage in this matter. Residents deserve clarity on how the city interprets these documents before SEPA reviews process advances any further. There are several legal questions that only the city attorneys can authoritatively address. These have already been shared with the council in writing via email. No responses received yet. Without a clear legal position on record, residents are left to interpret complex government documents on their own, while the project proponents benefit from that uncertainty. I understand the portions of this analysis may be legally privileged. However, privilege belongs to the city, and council has the discretion to disclose legal conclusions in the public interest where appropriate. Residents have also learned that the ordinance under which this project is being reviewed was originally drafted with input from battery storage developer Tenaska Energy. That understandably raises concerns about whether the framework that this permit is relying on is designed with the residents' interests as a primary focus. There's a growing distrust in this community about why we are not seeing more visible action or engagement on this issue. You see the number of people here has dramatically decreased from the last meetings that we have all been here. That is not a good thing. Many of you ran on the office on the principles of transparency. If that commitment still stands, I urge you to consider holding a dedicated Q&A session where constituents can ask their questions and receive responses. The current format where the residents speak and we do not get a response is not building our confidence any better. I appreciate the council's efforts to appear unbiased, but when a community faces credible danger, neutrality is not impartiality. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tanwar. The next speaker is Jimmy Shaw.
Good evening, Mayor Mayhew, council members. My name is Jimmy Shaw. I'm a Snoqualmie Ridge resident for last 8 years. Last week, I sent council members and mayor a written request asking for a specific public legal opinion about city's 2010 development agreement that was between the city of Snoqualmie and Puget Sound Energy, signed by then Mayor of Snoqualmie, Mr. Larson, also known as resolution number 960. There were 4 questions I had sent out via email, and I'm not going to go in detail about those questions right now because those are in the record. However, I'm here to ask one question. When will the residents will have access to the city's legal analysis on those 4 questions? Related to this, I want to address something directly. I've had a conversation with some of you in person, and rightfully so, you have expressed your concern about city being sued in expressing explicit opinion in this matter. The questions I have sent out in the email, I want to clarify. Usually, in the legal terms, if the city is asked to approve or deny a permit which city does not have right to approve or deny. In this case, it's King County. The email that I have sent out is not asking you to provide opinion or which has direct impact on the whether to approve or deny the application for the permit that PSC and Jupiter Power has filed. The request is outside of that, which is unquestionably city is entitled to respond to, given the fact that the questions are related to knowing what is the city's contract with Puget Sound Energy, disclose city's own legal position on its own contract, and exercise the discretionary approval that city already holds. None of these questions are quasi-judicial and should not put city at the risk of being sued by responding to that email. So my ask is simple. Please direct city attorney to identify in writing the specific actions this council can take without triggering the risk of being sued. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Any other speakers? Just approach the podium and remember to state your name and city of residence.
Fantastic. Thank you. My name is John Schrader. I live in Ironwood. A couple quick observations before we start. First, thank you to Waste Management for showing up. Slideware aside, they managed to get here. I know other public utilities were invited tonight and chose not to come. Second, the vision for responsible tourism that was presented earlier, I thought was fantastic. Those bullet points were wonderful. Parking a 45-acre battery farm in the middle of this city flies sort of in the face of a lot of those. And then last, several $1 million airlifting people off of Mailbox Peak and a $1 million liability cap for Jupiter Power seems a little bit absurd. And then on top of that, being a limited liability LLC that's directly designed to protect their interests while ours remain unprotected is also a challenge. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to speak directly to a governance failure that I think has cost this council, the community, and ourselves something that we cannot give back, and that's time and the agency that comes with it. Cascadia Ridge Battery Energy Storage System project was first proposed by Jupiter Power. It looks like, or from what I can tell, somewhere in the 2024 timeframe. My understanding is that previous mayors had awareness of this project. You wouldn't expect that over the course of time or the transition of mayors that size or scale of a project would lose sight. I've heard through conversations with other council members, Mr. Johnson himself, that many of these council members did not become aware of this project until February of 2026. And if that's honestly true for him, the council should ask who else was kept out of the know, and for how long. So the community of Snoqualmie learned about this facility in February of 2026, not from our elected leadership, but from the project developer. That's not really how it's supposed to work. The pre-application period is the single most powerful window for municipal influence under Washington state law. RCW 35A 63220 gives cities like Snoqualmie the authority to shape and condition or oppose projects before they become entrenched in the permitting process. That window was open. We didn't know it existed. We couldn't use it. Now it's narrowed significantly. At the end of the day, there's a lot of reasons why people are looking to leave. It's not because of a nuisance. It's not because this is something that we don't want in our backyard. It's because we legitimately don't believe that our children will be protected from catastrophic injury. And that's not something we should have to worry about. In the process, if we do leave, we're going to lose a lot, real estate and other issues. We're walking away from the largest financial investments of many of our lives. And I hope that's not lost on anyone. But just before I leave, I'm asking that some member of this council make a motion so that every council member and the mayor stayed on the record when they were first made aware of this project and provide a best estimate of how many meetings, briefings, or emails they've had since that time. This is information that we deserve. It's not a hostile request. It's about transparency. The community deserves to understand the full timeline of what was known by whom and when. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Next speaker. All right, see no further speakers. Public comment is now closed. Now move on to item 18 on the agenda, discussion of potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area. Any council member would like me to speak on this, please ask me to do so.
Yes, please.
Please, please, please.
Councilmember Johnson.
Please, Mayor.
I want to address one issue that has continued to come up repeatedly during this discussion, which is calls for the city of Snoqualmie to adopt a moratorium on battery energy storage facilities. I know that every council member, like me, has concerns about the proposed Jupiter project in the unincorporated King County UGA adjacent to Snoqualmie, despite assertions by some to the contrary. I also know that some members of the public have claimed that the reason Snoqualmie has not adopted a moratorium is because the mayor or council support the project. That is false. The city's focus has been on representing the concerns of Snoqualmie residents within the King County process, where decisions regarding that process are actually being made. The reality is that a Snoqualmie moratorium will have no effect on the proposed Jupiter project because it is located in unincorporated King County. At the same time, I know that every council member, like me, has concerns regarding battery energy storage facilities and believes those concerns deserve thoughtful consideration through the city's own legislative process regarding whether such facilities should or should not be permitted within Snoqualmie city limits. I believe it is appropriate for the city to now move forward with that legislative process. The continued focus on whether Snoqualmie should adopt a moratorium has also become a distraction from the city's work in the King County process. Accordingly, I am now presenting council with a proposed moratorium ordinance and agenda bill for first reading tonight. I'm also requesting the council consider suspending its rules requiring 2 readings and adopt the moratorium this evening.
Mayor,
Councilmember Johnson.
may we get a 5-minute recess to read this?
If there's no objection, we will be in recess until 8:10 p.m. We're now in recess. Okay, we're back from recess. Councilmember Watton.
Mayor, may I make the request that we go into executive session for 10 minutes to discuss with legal counsel this document?
Yeah, thank you.
Second it.
Motion by Councilmember Watton, second by Councilmember Washington. Any discussion? Councilmember Holloway.
Make it 20 minutes.
So amended, 20 minutes, if that's agreed.
Second it.
Councilmember Washington.
Okay. All right, so it's a 2-step. All those in favor of amending the motion to be for 20 minutes, say Councilmember Holloway.
Oh, no, your motion. Never mind. Go ahead.
Sorry, let's back up. The original motion was by Councilmember Watton, seconded by Councilmember Washington.
Thank you.
The amendment was made by Councilmember
Holloway.
Holloway, seconded by Councilmember Washington. All right.
Sorry, we need to cite the CW.
It's just,
Oh.
we need to say. Get confused.
I don't have the RCW.
I've got it.
Oh, I think I have it. Mayor. Mayor.
Councilmember Watton, is your motion under RCW 42.30.1101I to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters related to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Right. So the first vote is on the motion to amend the motion to make it 20 minutes. See no further discussion. All those in favor of the motion to amend say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion to amend passes. Any further discussion on the amended motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the amended motion say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. All right, we are now in executive session for the next 20 minutes. We will return at 8:35 p.m.
Legal Assistant Robert Thrall announced that the executive session would be extended for 10 minutes to 8:45 p.m.
We got 4. We made it on time.
All right, council is back in session, back from executive session. It is 8:46. Councilmember Johnson.
Move to suspend the rules and waive the 72-hour notification requirement for ordinance 1322.
Holt.
I just need the number.
All right,
That's what-
motion by Councilmember Johnson.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Murphy. Discussion?
Sorry, where are we?
Discussion. We have motion to waive, to suspend the rules to allow first read of the motion with waiving the 72-hour notice period. Seconded by Councilmember Murphy for discussion. Councilmember Holloway.
So we'd like to note that leading up into tonight, advice of council and administration was that such an action as this may contribute to taking this matter out of our hands, out of county hands, and go to the state in FSAC.
Excuse me, council member.
Yep.
You're toting the line of stating advice from council. Just a caution.
Understood.
Councilmember Cotton.
Yes. I think it's fair to say that the council was caught by surprise by this. And we're not given the 72 hours notice that is typically required to be able to review a document. However, we might have been pushing for that document.
Councilmember Watton.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank the residents that have expressed their concerns, and those are valid concerns. The challenge for the council is that we also have to operate under appearance of fairness doctrine, which is state law, and legal counsel can correct me. And so we have to be very careful in everything that we speak on. And it's not that what is being said by residents is is it's being heard. It's just we have to thread this very tight needle. And that is where we're trying to find the right place to do that. And it is a process. And we're taking it very, very seriously. And don't let our, hesitation be cause for concern that you're not being heard. It's just we have such a strict guideline we have to follow so that it doesn't look like we're predisposed, because we may be back in what they call a quasi-judicial manner, and we have to appear balanced to what is presented to us. However, there are a lot of concerns around the available space, the available land, and the highest best use. And those are concerns that I have. And I want to make sure that there's only so far that we can speak individually, but those things are being heard. And the safety for the community are concerns to us. But it is also outside of our jurisdiction. So we are walking a very fine line. But please don't lose hope. that we're
Councilmember
hearing.
Murphy.
So I do want to extend immense gratitude to the administration for being proactive in terms of this proposal right here. This is a land use that is emerging. It's one that's created a lot of concern among our residents, and establishing giving time to establish the right policies with respect to this land use within our city limits is squarely something that a city council and a city can do. So I think, to echo Council Member Watten's point of view, obviously needing to be careful in the manner in which we're doing that. But I do want to give thanks to the administration for their proactive, for being proactive here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Speaking to the needle that Councilmember Watton was talking about, yeah, it's I could only imagine what the administration was going through in putting this together. Now, with regard to the specifics of the motions on the table here, right? This is something that we can do under our rules and procedures, and what I have been keeping as one of my guiding stars as a former astronomer, you got lots of guide stars that help keep the telescope on track. One of them is the oath that I believe every elected official took here, with the verbiage that says, "I will support and maintain the ordinances, resolutions, and policies of the city of Snoqualmie and the laws and constitution of the state of Washington and of the United States of America." And this, which as soon as we may or may not approve the motion that's on the table, I'm hoping we can get up on screen and read in. This, I think, may thread that needle.
All right, so your motion, restate your motion, is to, excuse me, allow you to do the first step of your normal ordinance process, which is reading in the title of an ordinance. The motion is to waive the 72-hour, to suspend the rules of the council, which requires 72 hours pre-notification of that, which would then allow you to read in the title of this ordinance. See no further discussion on this. All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The rules are suspended. Councilmember for this item, Councilmember Johnson.
Two things. First, if we can we get this on screen? And then once we've done that, then I'll do my second part.
And I'll get it pulled up. It's not in the agenda package.
Jamie, if I'm able to share my screen, please.
like the same version.
Yeah, that's the wording you want to read it.
So that we're going to stick with the ones on there. Okay. All right, the mayor, while that's getting straightened out, I will read it in. Ordinance number 1322, an ordinance of the city of Snoqualmie establishing a temporary moratorium on the acceptance of applications for land use and building permit approvals for the new battery energy storage system facilities. Establishing a work program for preparation and consideration of development regulations and providing severability and establishing an effective date.
Do you need a second?
No, I don't need nothing because it's not a motion. It's just reading it in.
So it's a first read of an ordinance. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Johnson.
I wonder if maybe we need another one of those 5-minute recesses to get.
We'll have it
the
in just a
actual
second.
version. Okay. Because I would like to get it up there for people to see and maybe even give time to scroll through it slowly. Because currently, the public doesn't actually know what we're doing by not scrolling through it.
Well,
Thank you.
sure.
You do have questions.
You have a question?
Councilmember Watton.
Comments are acceptable?
Yeah, this is your discussion
All
period.
right.
There it is. Perfect.
So-
Thank you.
I believe this is an important first step. I would like to see stronger language included regarding the Growth Management Act, the highest and best land use for that's within our comprehensive plan existing.
Councilmember Cotton.
Yes, sir. I would certainly appreciate to say that wherever this comes from, it's a great first step. And I would certainly appreciate the community and residents' additional input into this document once they have the opportunity to review it in full. And please keep those cards and letters coming.
All right. Any further discussion? If not, any further discussion under this item, which is item 18, discussion of potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area. Councilmember Washington.
Yeah, I have a quick discussion point. So I've been in communication with Leon Richardson, King County Department of Local Services Director. He and his team will be available and are prepared to present on King County permitting process, followed by a Q&A session. And we're proposing to have this done on July 13th. That would be our first council meeting in July. So and again, it's a great idea because I think if we can get he and his team here and walk through the process where our residents can participate in the process, that is a good thing for us. So with that said, I'll propose a motion. Motion to add to the July 13th, 2026 council meeting agenda, a presentation from Leon Richardson, King County Department of Local Services Director, on the proposed battery energy storage system in King County with questions and answers to follow.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Washington, second by Councilmember Johnson.
City clerk need that read again.
No, we'll get it from the recording.
Okay.
Any discussion? If I could remind council that you do not have in your format the ability for the public to do Q&A. So you may want us to look at other possible meeting formats prior to the council meeting, if that's what you're trying to engage. That the motion that you just made would enable the council to have Q&A. But if you want something beyond that, we can work with you to try and set up something like that. Councilmember Washington.
Absolutely. And yeah, the intent here is for the council to have the Q&A with Leon and his team. Definitely to have questions from the public come into administration, and we can filter those into the discussion point.
Councilmember Holloway.
So would you accept a friendly motion to basically have FNA do determination of format and structure for that on the, was it July 13th council meeting?
What, when you say format, just want to make sure, what do you mean?
Probably there's a town hall.
Councilmember Holloway.
Be a town hall format so that people from the public can ask questions, they can do their presentation, as opposed just to, for him talking to us and asking questions.
Councilmember Washington.
Yeah, I'll open that to my colleagues here.
Okay.
If that's something that they would entertain, that's a good point. I never thought about it. Is that something that the council would entertain?
Councilmember Johnson.
I'm trying to think if technically this conversation is germane to the motion that is on the table, or if another motion needs to be made related to the FNA question.
I didn't hear a point of order. I just heard a musing.
Okay,
So,
point of order.
what is, state your point?
The conversation about moving to F and A without having a motion to do so, I think is out of order.
Yeah.
The discussion is out of order. Is there a motion to move this discussion to F and A committee? Councilmember Holloway.
So I do think it would be good if they are amenable, and let's get that feedback. If they're amenable to have a town hall site thing, we'll need to set that up. I'm sorry, leading to this moment right now, I would rather have that as a committee discussion than an administration discussion. Okay, so I motion to have this taken back to FNA to make determination of what to do on July 13th.
Second.
Motion to refer this matter to F and A committee by Councilmember Holloway, second by Councilmember Johnson. Is there discussion? Hold, please. All right, any further discussion? See none, all those in favor of referring this matter to F and A committee say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay.
Nay.
The motion carries 5-1. Councilmember Washington voting against. The matter is referred to F and A committee. Further discussion on the topic of potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area. All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the
Mayor.
Councilmember Johnson, sorry.
Would it be in order for me to amend the agenda?
It is.
Okay, then, sorry, let me go back to the agenda. Okay, then, since we're on the topic, move item number 17, the acknowledgement of Puget Sound Energy letter, to immediately following this discussion.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Johnson, second by Councilmember Cotton. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. The agenda is amended. Is there any further discussion on item discussion of potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area? Seeing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is Puget Sound Energy Letter regarding potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area.
Sorry, Mayor. This is the
Councilmember
letter.
Johnson.
This is about the letter, right? I missed what you read in. Sorry about that.
The topic is Puget Sound Energy Letter regarding potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area.
Thank you.
Councilmember Murphy.
A quick clarifying question, perhaps this is for the administration or the F&A committee. I know in our last council meeting, we had requested PSC to give us a briefing on perhaps matters in the letter and just an opportunity for some Q&A. So I just want to understand what prevented them from coming tonight. Was it scheduling? Was there another issue? Just love to get that clarity from whomever has that information.
Councilmember Johnson.
The only response to the request, which I believe the administration sent, although I'll let them clarify that, the only response that I'm aware of is this letter.
As a reminder, the letter that was sent was signed by all of the electeds, and it went to the CEO of PSC along with an invitation to come speak to us. Councilmember Holloway.
But I think what you're referring to is on prior versions of council agenda, there was a discussion about PSE presentation.
Right.
That was actually misstated. That was the waste management presentation. PSE was never on the hook to come and do that presentation. We got agencies mixed up. We put PSE in there instead of waste management. Waste management came tonight.
Councilmember Johnson.
I think Councilmember Schreier about to say the same thing. There was a separate motion at our last council meeting to specifically invite them to come and talk to us at our next council meeting about this topic. And we did approve to send that request, and this is the only response I'm aware of. But Councilmember Holloway is right that there was another presentation that talked about PSE that was mislabeled.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yeah, I remember that where we were like, we saw them on the agenda and then they went off and then then Waste Management appeared. But to Councilmember Johnson's point, I think having them come before us, it takes some questions or to present, I think was something that this council unanimously asked for. They've responded, it seems like with this letter, which I think is the subject of this agenda item and conversation. I think while appreciative of the letter, and it's very data rich and very contextual with respect to where PSC's standpoint with respect to the renewable energy goals that the state has, it really leaves me with more questions, frankly, than answers. And I still think it stands that having them come here to answer some questions with respect to this letter and anything else we may have on our mind with respect to their strategy as it relates to battery energy storage systems within grid resiliency, other issues that I think are legitimate for our community and for this council to better understand. So, was a little bit disappointed that we didn't see him on the agenda tonight. I think I'm grateful for something. The letter it has some good data, but really doesn't, really just gives glancing mention of some of the concerns that we had in our letter, which were, I think, pretty specific, and understanding they are probably limited with respect to how much in the weeds they can get with their response. But I was hoping for a little bit more than they provided.
Right. Any further discussion on that topic of Puget Sound Energy Letter regarding potential land use in unincorporated urban growth area? Councilmember Holloway.
I would just like, let's take an action, let's have a discussion in F&A of potentially a council invitation to PSE for such a discussion as we aren't. So can we get that on next? Would Chair mind having that on next F&A agenda?
Councilmember Johnson.
Absolutely. And I think that just like as for any organization that's out there in our general vicinity who would like to come and have the opportunity, as we had two come tonight and present to us, and they took questions and answers. I think that that's just kind of a general standing invitation. We may not say yes to everyone, but certainly any organization is welcome to ask if they could come and present to us.
Councilmember Murphy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that PSC has briefed councils on this very topic in other jurisdictions and other cities and made presentations on this issue. So I would imagine this is something that they are at the ready to discuss, both from a macro standpoint, but also maybe from a more project-specific standpoint as it relates to some of the public documents they have out there related to battery energy storage. So yeah, I would hope that our invitation is still standing, right? That the council has asked the administration to transmit, and maybe we can get some more progress in getting them here soon.
Councilmember Cotton.
Yes, I'd like to also recommend that when this topic goes back to F&A, that they extend a strong and hearty second request for PSE to come forward to one of our council meetings.
Councilmember Johnson.
As the chair of F&A, I hear the requests, and I will so do.
Thank you.
Or at least I'll bring the topic. I don't speak for the other committee members. I'll bring the topic.
Councilmember Holloway.
My envision is that there's an invitation letter signed by all of us. F&A will just take the lead on, bring it back.
Great.
Councilmember Washington.
Yep. Being a part of F&A, this is something I support.
All right, seeing no further discussion on the topic of the Puget Sound Energy Letter. Move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the consent agenda. The consent agenda contains approval of City Council meeting minutes dated April 27th, approval of the claims report dated May 11th, Agenda Bill 26-012, award construction contract for BP lift station expansion project, and Agenda Bill 26-013, Microsoft Office renewal. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Washington, second by Councilmember Holloway. Is there any discussion? Councilmember Watton.
Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself specifically for AB 26-012 as a potential appearance of conflict of interest.
All right, we will call you back into the chamber after this item is done.
Would you like for me to step out?
Wait. Point of order.
Councilmember Holloway, state your point.
Sierra's consent agenda is voted in its totality. Doesn't that agenda item need to be taken out so he can recuse himself? And then we vote on the remainder of the consent agenda.
That would be his choice. He asked to be, or he stated he was recusing himself from the motion, which was the consent agenda. Councilmember Johnson.
I believe that any council member can just remove things from consent without a motion. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, then I'm going to remove AB 26-012, award construction contract for BP lift station expansion project, and that'll be taken up immediately after the consent agenda as per our rules.
That's correct.
Thank you.
So Councilmember Watton, to clarify, you are not recusing yourself at this time. Is that correct?
Not on the current consent agenda as we moved one of the items out. Thank you very much.
All right, any further discussion of the consent agenda? That's right. See none. All those in favor of the amended consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The consent agenda as amended is passed. Per council rules, the next item that we will take up is Agenda Bill 26-012, award construction contract for BP lift station expansion project. Councilmember Watton.
And I will recuse myself.
We'll call
from
you
that.
back in as soon as
Okay.
we're done with that.
Thank you very much.
We need, hold on, Council.
Yeah, you want to read that one? It's Parks Public Works.
So Parks and, what is it?
Yeah.
Jimmy, we need to pull up Agenda Bill 26 dash, oh, you got it for us. And if you could move to the motion. Councilmember Holloway, is this your committee?
No,
No.
it's still my committee.
Oh, sorry, Councilmember Cotton, would you
Uh.
please read in the introduction and motion?
The proposed motion is to adopt this resolution awarding a construction contract with CR Construction for the BP Pump Station Capacity Lift Station.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Cotton, second by Councilmember Holloway. Just a moment. Is there any discussion? See none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion passes. Agenda Bill 26-012 passes. Next item is ordinances, Agenda Bill 26-021, award hold on, please.
No, that was on the consent agenda.
This was consent. Are there two consent agendas?
Yes. it's only here.
So there is,
I think that.
there is an ordinance. Thank you.
This was done. Two consent.
I understand. I understand. I see.
Ah,
All right, next item is committee reports. Public Safety Committee.
wait, point of order.
Wait.
What happened to? the
Point of
budget?
order from Councilmember Johnson. State your point.
I believe the next thing is item number 13, AB 26-21.
You just voted on it.
No,
No, this is about funding an economic development coordinator position.
we
All right,
voted
hold on, let me look into it. Hold on.
012.
Okay.
Your point is correct. We will go to that item now. The next item is ordinances, Agenda Bill 26-21, 2020. It disappeared. Agenda Bill 26-2021, sorry, Agenda Bill 26-21, 2025-2026 budget amendment to provide the city with the appropriation necessary to fund an economic development coordinator position. Which committee is this? Sorry.
FNA.
FNA. So,
No, CD.
uh,
I'm sorry.
Community Development Committee, Councilmember Washington, will you read in the introduction? And this is a first read, so not the motion, just the introduction.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, I can read it in. This ordinance amends the 2025-2026 biennial budget to provide the city with the appropriation necessary to fund an economic development coordinator position.
Is there any public comment on this item? Seeing none, council, is there any discussion of this item? Councilmember Johnson.
For clarity, this is under something that is titled consent agenda. Can that be considered a scrivener's error? I believe it is to call it ordinances.
It is.
In the future. Okay,
That's
thank you.
correct. Councilmember Washington.
Sorry. I think Councilmember Johnson just made the point. I think that the intent was to have it under ordinances, not consent agenda, since it's an ordinance requiring two reads.
It's just a typographical error. We will get it corrected in the what's ultimately published. Councilmember Johnson.
Okay, now actually getting into what this is, I am so excited for this because it is an area that we have been severely lacking for, I believe, at least as long as I've been here in our city staffing, especially in the community development department. Community and Economic Development Department.
It's getting late.
Yeah, exactly. Get it right. Yeah, so the idea here is to have someone who can interface with all sorts of things. And I would love perhaps maybe if staff or mayor could just give us kind of a short version, because the night is getting long, but just a short version to highlight what this is.
And to answer your question, here's Community and Economic Development Director Mona Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Yes, I'm happy to introduce this topic by providing you with a little bit more background on what the role and responsibilities of this newly requested position entails. So the Economic Development Coordinator position will serve as the key advisor on economic development opportunities and strategies. They will work to increase Chamber of Commerce engagement and business partnerships in our community. This will include providing economic data to formulate strategies for growth, monitoring vacancies in our retail and business park areas, assess demands on types of businesses that we need here, and look for opportunities to both retain our existing businesses and attract new businesses to Snoqualmie. The Economic Development Coordinator will also be responsible for identifying grant funding opportunities, writing grant applications, overseeing administration of the grants, which is really a big lift, and then strengthening our community's economic base, hopefully with grant funding received. Additionally, this position will coordinate with our human services providers and facilitate the Human Services Advisory Committee. And I've provided a slideshow to show the CED, which is Community and Economic Development Department's current structure, and another to demonstrate how this project will fit into our department. So Drew, if you could pop to the next one. So this is our current staffing levels now. And then the next slide would show that the Community and Economic Development Coordinator would be working pretty cohesively with the Community Engagement Coordinator. So with that, I can turn it over to our Finance Director, Drew Boutte, to provide you with funding details, and then we can both be available to answer questions afterwards.
All right, good evening to you, Council, and thank you very much. Thank you, Mona, for the introduction. In essence, we've recently had some conversations about some revenue sources that we are prepared to transfer back into the general fund from governmental capital. Those revenue sources include recurring construction sales tax revenue as well as utility tax revenue. Over the period of time, when you look at 27 and 28, we anticipate collecting about $550,000 or so over that each annually overall. With the previous budget amendment the council approved, we were going to spend roughly $400,000 of that total on outside legal services to support the ongoing legal needs that we have here across the city. In essence, what that results in is a balance that has been unallocated at this point. And so we are proposing as part of the administration to allocate the remaining balance of that to this Economic Development Coordinator position, where we're looking at our long-term obligations for 27 and 28. Currently, right now, there would be a shortfall for 2026, primarily because that revenue would not start accruing to the general fund until currently right now. And so as a consequence of that, we would need about $63,000 in general fund cash to support this position through the end of 2026, and then utilize those unallocated recurring construction sales tax revenue and utility tax revenue to support this position into 27 and 28. So hopefully that answers the funding portion of this question, and looking forward to coming back at the next council meeting for a second reading.
Councilmember Holloway.
Still not tonight, probably in a discussion in F&A. I'd like to understand how this position will identify and target the needs the community needs to go chase. We've had number of EDC coordinators come through here, marginal effect. I want to know how this one is different. Due to the budget stuff here, I'd also like a discussion in F&A of if we think there's shortfall in all this, we ought to have a discussion in F&A how the funding is coming out because I'm confused by the introduction of outside legal services in the discussion, but I don't want it tonight. I don't have brain energy for tonight. Can we have a discussion on FNA?
So council, you need to let administration know if everything needs to go to FNA council, just tell us that and we'll stop bringing things to other council committees. But to take us, every single thing we bring has to go back to FNA. Just tell us that and that's where we'll bring it in the first place. Because this repetitive thing is very demanding on staff. We go over and over the same thing. This was in the advanced materials for this committee, which you all received in advance. You're all able to attend every committee meeting. So when you make us repetitively represent this, you're chewing up one heck of a lot of staff time. So just let us come and do it once to whichever group of you needs to see it. Please help us out. Councilmember Watton.
I think I clearly hear from Councilmember Holloway, because there is a budget impact on this, that FNA needs to be included. And I would concur with them in this situation, as they are responsible for overseeing the budget. I truly support this is so needed, because there is a lot of movement and not an inflow of businesses, but an outflow of businesses. And the city needs to understand that and help advocate and help promote and bring in new businesses. So this is a very worthwhile endeavor. And we're in a different situation today than we were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And so I do want to make sure that we keep that front and center, but I appreciate bringing the information to the council about the need that we have this gap to close. And to me, FNA is the right place for that to be answered.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah. So this, I think, very strongly aligns with our strategic plan that we almost adopted, and then things happened. But with regard to the strategic plan, I do plan to fold that into our comprehensive plan discussion, since we have to update that this year. My point of bringing that up is that I think that so much of that strategic plan was so heavily focused on CD issues. And I think that so far, this council has been putting the money where their mouth is. Actually, quite literally, that's how we're appropriating things so far, it seems, this year, is toward the community development department. So if the will of the council is to have an FNA discussion about this, fine. I would hope that it would still be acceptable to have the next council meeting be the second reading of it, rather than starting over to first reading.
So I'm understanding that you would like to have this added to your discussion for FNA committee. You're not referring it to committee, you're just asking for discussion and presentation of this. Am I correctly understanding the request?
You want to make a motion?
Yeah, just discussion. Any action will be happen in next council, not in FNA, just discussion.
All right, and then I would just implore council, please give some thought to how you want us to do things so that we're not having to do things repetitively. Almost every agenda bill has a budget implication. If the status, if the criteria is agenda bills with budget implications should all go to FNA, please just give us that guidance. So think that through and let us know what you would like us to do, and that's what we'll do. Councilmember Murphy.
I just want to weigh in really quick because we did get a great presentation at the CD committee hearing or meeting on this. Want to echo the support for this role as something that is clearly a dire need in terms of how we go out and make ourselves economically competitive, how we go and liaise with our human services. And I think especially now, given the economic headwinds our region is currently facing, some of the vacancies that we see across our city, having someone whose job is to wake up in the morning and think about and execute against some of these plans is something that I strongly, strongly support. So I was pleased to see this come before a CD committee from the administration. We had a really good conversation and discussion with respect to what working backwards, what the goals of this position may entail, and look forward to continuing to staying in the loop on this as we go forward.
All right, seeing no further discussion of this item. Sorry, I just want to catch a note here. All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda. Public Safety Committee, Councilmember Watton.
Thank you, Mayor. And tonight, I believe we have a special guest with us from the Police Department, Sergeant Smith. Are you here to help answer the first 2 points of the committee? Or is that on me? And then you back me up. We haven't coordinated.
The second thing.
Yeah. Okay. I will go ahead and answer the first 2, and then I'll have Chief Bailey follow with the police or with the fire department first quarter report. Couple updates. First of all, on school zone enforcement, it is an ongoing thing. One of the things that we are in the midst of, and is over in F&A, I believe, or in finance, is an RFP for the camera discussion that we've had previously. So that'll be back. In the meantime, there is ongoing enforcement in the school zones, in particular, but you'll see it all over the city too. Our enforcement has increased, and most of the time it's pulling people over and reminding them people are slowing down, and it's been very effective in that regard. The next one is with regard to covered load enforcement. We're currently working with Washington State Patrol on the Parkway of monitoring that and doing enforcement when loads are not covered. And so there's that. There's a couple other things that we're working on. One is the Issaquah jail rate increase. There's going to be a small increase coming, and that'll be at the next council meeting. And so that brings us up to speed with that. With that, I'm going to turn it over to, oh, wait.
Councilmember Cotton, or Watton.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
The next item is just merely for the council's awareness.
Okay.
In your
Thank
agenda packet, there was the fire department's first quarter accreditation report. We don't have a presentation for you on that.
Okay.
The instruction was just to call to your attention that that is in your materials. And of course, if you have any questions, we're happy to take those. You can direct those questions either to me or to Chief Bailey.
Absolutely right. And that concludes our presentation, our section of public safety.
All right. Community Development Committee, Councilmember Washington.
Nothing further at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Parks and Public Works Committee, Councilmember Cotton.
No report at this time.
Finance and Administration Committee, Councilmember Johnson. Let's see. The next item is council rules of procedure regarding video streaming of comments not on the agenda. Councilmember Johnson.
Yes, I am stuck in a bit of a hard spot here. So at the last council meeting, pulling up the minutes, Councilmember Murphy made a motion to have the discussion of council rules of procedure with regard to cameras during open public comment take place at the next council meeting during the committee of the whole, which is seconded by Councilmember Watton. We just had a discussion and then we had a vote, which passed. Then the next motion is just a slight modification of that, but the idea is to have that discussion during the committee of the whole. And then at F&A, I didn't have those minutes in front of me to double check what it was exactly that happened. At F&A, we had a discussion about having said discussion at F&A. And that was the preferred direction that the committee gave. So looking at that, although it came from FNA as for me to present that was the will of FNA, we are here and we can have that conversation about the council rules of procedure regarding video streaming of comments on the agenda if council would like, since it says it's a discussion item.
Councilmember Murphy.
So given the late hour, and I think this is a discussion that warrants our brain that's not at 9:35 p.m. I wonder if the chair is amenable to perhaps putting this on our next full council meeting for discussion, and one in which we can perhaps be a little bit more fresh, because I think this warrants like significant consideration, and I don't want it to be shoehorned here at the back of the meeting with our brains not quite as sharp as they were earlier in the night.
So Councilmember Murphy, are you making a motion to move this to committee?
Yes. Motion to bring this discussion item back at the next full council meeting.
Second.
Not to committee. You're not sending it to committee.
No, not to committee, to the next
Council.
full council meeting.
Okay, motion moved by Councilmember Murphy, second by Councilmember Cotton. Councilmember Holloway.
So wouldn't the conversation be better framed if FNA were to come by with options, pros, cons, and responsibilities of the council in regards to this?
Councilmember Murphy.
Yeah, so I guess this is where, and maybe this is where slightly lost in translation with what you were, Councilmember Johnson was just walking through in terms of what occurred at FNA. So maybe can you bring me up to speed in terms of that versus, because where my mind was we left this at the last meeting, we made that motion and you all had that discussion in FNA in the interim. So
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes, so at FNA, I had the recollection of the conversation as described there and as I read in the minutes just a few minutes ago. But I did not have those minutes present to refer to at the time in FNA. So we had a conversation. I had my position. The other committee members thought that would be a good discussion for FNA, again, as Councilmember Holloway described, for FNA to weigh legal risks and come forward with a set of options to bring to the council. So I apologize for the sputtering that occurred there as a result of that. But if the will of the council is to go to FNA, then that's what we'll do. If the will of the council is to go to straight to council and skip FNA, apart from just putting it on the agenda, but confirming that it's on the agenda from FNA. Apart from that, then so be it. There is a motion on the table for one of those options.
Councilmember Murphy.
So I'm willing to let's have the process through FNA come back to us with some options. So in that, I'd withdraw my motion.
Or, sorry, Councilmember Murphy.
Or
modify it. You can.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Murphy. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. So I'd modify my motion to send this to FNA and instead send this item to FNA.
So I think that what you're wanting to do is move to send this item to FNA committee. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is there a second?
Sorry.
Is there a second? There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Cotton. Discussion of the motion to send this item to FNA committee. Councilmember Washington.
Okay, I want to make sure that the motion has been modified. The original motion has been modified.
No, it has not. It's the original motion is being made moot by sending this to committee.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no further discussion, the motion to refer this item to FNA committee. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next item is flood event update. There is an update in your, what?
There was one thing I was supposed to say, but that's okay.
There is a update in your materials. There's no significant change in activity. So unless there's any questions, just wanted to draw that to your attention. Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah, one small thing that the committee asked me to share with the council was that, trying to read it here sideways here, was that there were some documents that had to be submitted to FEMA, I believe, and that those had a deadline on them, and that those were successfully submitted by the administration staff on time.
All right. Any further report, Finance and Administration Committee?
No further report.
All right. Any commission or committee liaison reports? All right. The next item is an executive session. An executive session pursuant to RCW 42.30.1101I to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters related to agency enforcement actions, or to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency litigation or potential litigation to which the agency, the governing body, or a member acting in an official capacity is or is likely to become a party when public knowledge regarding the discussion is likely to result in an adverse legal or financial consequence to the agency. We'll have council members, the mayor, the legal assistant Robert Thrall, and external counsel. Hold on.
Weren't we amending this about council candidate?
If we go beyond 10, we have to motion to consent.
So, how long do you want for this? Do you want 5 minutes or do you want something longer? Or do you want to move on to the next executive session instead? Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah, given some actions that were, we did technically take action. Given what happened earlier tonight, I would be fine with not having that executive session and instead having just the next one, which is
hold on.
Qualifications, blah, blah, blah.
Is there a motion to amend the agenda to remove the executive session that I just read in?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Holloway, second by Councilmember Watton. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion carries. Item 22 is removed from the agenda. The next item on the agenda is?
Point of order.
State your point.
Council rules state that we have to end by 10 o'clock unless we say otherwise, sorry.
It's late.
That is correct. What is your point?
Will we be staying later than 10 o'clock? And
That
need to
is your
extend?
choice. That is your choice. Councilmember Johnson.
I would hope that we could finish this discussion within 10 minutes in executive session. Go ahead.
All right. The next item is executive session under RCW 42.30.1101H to evaluate the qualifications of a candidate for appointment to elective office. The attendees will be Legal Assistant Thrall, the mayor, and council members. We will return in, what did I hear? 10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Okay, in 10 minutes at 9:55 p.m.
Waiting for one council member.
We're waiting for 55 after the hour.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. We can't come back early, right?
we can't.
We need to come, are we on? Yeah. Okay. So I can just start talking at the time? Okay.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Back from executive session. It is 9:55. Next item on the agenda is potential candidates for vacant city council position number 6. Councilmember Johnson.
Yeah. So this is my third time going through this in the last just slightly over 4 years, and it's never easy because the stakes are so high. But the good news is that our community has so many highly qualified people for taking on this position and actively engaged people. And there are other ways if someone is not selected from the city council, but those who are not selected end up wanting to continue being involved in the city, then there are boards, there are commissions that they could also apply for. The mayor would make those appointments, and I believe that all of them are confirmed by council.
No.
Planning Commission?
Depend, not all the committees, so depends which commission.
Planning
All the
Commission.
commissions are, some of the committees, yeah.
Okay, got it. But at any rate, yes, there are other ways to be involved in city government that people can apply to be a part of as well. And I'd certainly encourage anyone who's interested in following one of those paths. And also there's the Citizens Academy that some people have attended, some people haven't in the fall, where folks can also learn more about city government. But with that, the very difficult decision out of 10, I believe that there was one who did rise above the others, and I think would be ready to hit the ground running here on the city council. And I will thus move to appoint Andre Testman to fill position 6 on the Snoqualmie City Council.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Johnson, second by Councilmember Cotton to appoint Andre Testman to the vacant position 6 on the city council. Is there any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion carries unanimously. That brings us to the end of our agenda. There be no further business on the council agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Councilmember Holloway, second by Councilmember Murphy. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. We're adjourned at 9:58.